There's more than 1 billion people using Facebook every month, and its audience is still continuing to grow. What is true is that the growth is slowing down in countries like the US and UK, where more than 70% of internet users are already signing on.
If you're already
Facebook.
going to be on it, you're going to be on it already.
Yeah,
in Brazil,
exactly.
Places like that.
Still growing very fast. So the overall story is still very much a kind of growth story, and I think the company that produced the data that was in The Guardian have since come out to say you're kind of misusing the data a little bit. So the real story, I think, is Facebook is still doing very well indeed.
Ian, is there a point, though, where people get fed up with Facebook, or we talk about Facebook fatigue? If we haven't reached that point yet, is it just going to be part of the normal cycle that they'll have to think of other sources or have to come up with something new?
I think that's very true. We've seen over the last few years social networks before Facebook, like MySpace, and come and go. So that's certainly a risk for Facebook, that eventually people just get bored or move on. And I think what's also bringing that to the fore is the shift from the PC to mobile devices, smartphones, etc., as the main channel for accessing the internet. So there's a risk that mobile services, mobile social networks could replace Facebook. But so far the risk, I think, is still very small.
Very small. It strikes me, and you read about Facebook, and you still get the sense that Facebook is challenged by the move from PC to mobile.
Yeah.
And the longer that goes on, the inability to create a solid mobile identity does keep the door open. Like, the risk is not zero that they are not going to be challenged by a new startup.
No, I think that's absolutely right. The difference with a mobile is you already have an address book. You've got you're connected to the telephone networks. There are a lot of other ways for social networks to build up very, very rapid scale, not just Facebook. So the competition is much more fierce on the smartphone, on the mobile connected devices, smartphones, tablets, etc., than it is to the PC, and that there is clearly much more competition in the social networking space. So there's certainly a risk. I think overall it's still quite small, but it's certainly there.
Why were they so behind? For a company that's actually been so advanced, why were they so behind in dealing with advertising on mobile and having an app that was innovative and a little bit different?
I think that it's a traditional issue for a lot of businesses, that it's very hard to change your business model when the market is moving so quickly. When you've got an established business for the PC internet, it's very hard to sort of completely transition to a whole new market. Whereas startups don't have that that legacy business to worry about, and they can just innovate so much more quickly.
When we analyse Facebook, should we be thinking about growth in the number of users, or should we be thinking about the ability now for the company to monetize those users? You talk about the stabilizing demographic in the US, the UK, etc.
Yeah.
The job now is to monetize that.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the two key metrics, Facebook's results are out this evening for the first quarter. The two key metrics to study are the number of mobile users, because now it's as Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO, has said, it's a mobile company. So the mobile audience is absolutely critical, their growth there. And the second is, as you say, the monetization, so the mobile advertising business. That's really the key metric to study.